And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have a very special presentation by our platinum sponsor. Without this platinum sponsor of ours, this would not have been possible. Okay, we're talking about Microsoft Malaysia, and there are two very, very special representatives of Microsoft Malaysia to be joining us here on stage. First, we have Ms. Wendy, the Director of Premier Support Services, Microsoft Malaysia, Sdn, and Mr. Eugene, the Senior Service Management Consultant of Microsoft Malaysia, Sdn. Okay. Right?
Good morning, everyone.
Hey.
Okay. Good. I'm just testing because after lunch, we're just going to test out. All right, okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, you can do it better. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for participating. Now, there is a reason we have two persons here, because after hearing Anne's talk, right, we need to bring both sides, the feminine side and the male side. So I'm representing the male side and Wendy is representing the feminine side. Yeah? So, now without further ado, my name is Eugene, and Wendy here, we are going to co-deliver to you Microsoft Talent Development Program. Okay? Well, ladies and gentlemen, before I move forward to talk about what Microsoft Development Program is, let's explore why talent development is so important. And it's very important in our business. Well, the first factor is very easy. Yeah? We know that on average, organizations spend about 1/3 of the revenues on employees' benefits and also their wages. Now, in return, the employers is expecting the employees to create some kind of competitive products and solutions. Or you can go to create some compelling marketing campaigns, such as bundling of services or creating better pricing so that you can grow your market. Or you can even go into the lucrative markets. Now, the question I always ask myself, how can we be ahead of our competitions? How can we be ahead of our competitions? Think about it. You could have created a very innovative product within seconds. Somebody in some part of the world, they would have replicated it. Well, if you have listened to guitar, if you have done an IP, probably you can protect it. But it doesn't stop them from selling some of your product and service in some part of the world. Or you can try to lower your pricing to be competitive. Unfortunately, your competitors can give a better price immediately. Or you can go into a lucrative market. Well, probably your competitors is ahead of you. Now let's bring in one thing to be competitive in this market. We all agree that attracting and retaining good talents, make them, provide them a platform so that they can continuously create innovative products and services so that they can be ahead of your competitors and you can be competitive. Now, aside of all this logic talk, let's talk about something about the research that we have done. In fact, Talent Development Program has been around since 1997. The first book I uncovered is from McKinsey about the war of talent. As you know, it's evidence that currently the talents have won the war. Yeah. Now, let's bring forward to some of the research done by Deloitte. I believe Anne has addressed some of the research as well. Well, Deloitte have done a very good talent research about organizations around Asia Pacific. There are 212 organizations participate in this particular survey. There are seven countries, which is China, India, Malaysia, Singapore, Vietnam, Thailand, and also Thailand, our near countries. Now, what do you think the result is? Do you think talent is abandoned in this world? What do you think? Yes. Yeah? Now, the result all coincide, especially for the Malaysian market. 77% of them say that, gosh, we don't have enough talent. And 87% of the respondents say that our top challenges is to attract talent, and followed by 84% say that retention of talents. In fact, in Deloitte, we call this term called Malaysia suffered a brain drain environment. Brain drain, yeah, how sad, yeah. And one of the things that they mentioned, out of the 8 strategies that Bila suggested, 3 of them is about talent management. Okay? Now let's bring you to a survey that's done by McKinsey again, and I received this report last week. In fact, you will have this report in your folders if you want to read about it. This report was released to me last Wednesday. I received it. Now, surprisingly, after 2 years, Deloitte had done the survey. 2 years later, McKinsey did the same survey again. Talent management become the top 3 priorities in the organizations. And some of them, they subscribe. What are the top priorities for the organization to do? Is address talent from the top. Now that you know that talent development is important, probably I should play a role what current organizations are doing. Okay? But Wendy, if I'm a CFO, I always have these issues. I'll ask you, why should I invest in a talent subsequently they leave the organization, Wendy? Can you tell me?
Okay. My question is, what happens if we don't, right? And will they stay? So this is actually one of the topics that I constantly hear from my customer. As my role in my job as the Director of Premium Support Services in Microsoft, I get to meet a lot of people for the past 7 years as I go out to meet my customers, and I do it very regularly. And the common challenge that I have from all across the organizations, from the CIOs to IT directors to head of divisions, they constantly share this with me. And the shortage of IT top talent and also attrition has been a concern to them. And of course, in my organization, we strive to really look into how we can actually help organizations to stabilize their environment through robust IT operations. And as what our CIO said, talent, resources, and perseverance is the key. It's the key for us to really look into how we can actually groom our talent, to keep them and to build them. Okay, this is actually the magic formula that we actually believe in and also use in Microsoft. So today, what we're going to share with you is actually our talent development program. So in Microsoft, we believe in leaders building leaders. And in 2010, we shared our best practices on talent development program. So this is actually what we have practiced in Microsoft, and we shared with people around us on how we manage talent. So we have Microsoft is transforming our organizations in year 2004, and we actually built a community of developing high performance team. So what we have put in our framework is basically assessment, coaching, mentoring, leadership learning circles, and also action learning as well. So from here, what we have again is, from a sales and marketing group, we have about more than 45,000 employees worldwide. And we achieved 53 billion US dollar in physical sales, sales in fiscal 2008. And we have 34.8 billion in profit, right? This is amazing results for us, for the sales and services team. So 91,000 people are involved in taking care of IT and operations to ensure that we deliver our services and product. So when we do that, we see that this is actually one of the amazing results, and we constantly to make a commitment to our employees by looking into how we can actually invest in the development program. We spend about 345 million every year annually just to invest on building our talents, right? The key thing that we do is really focusing on the ability. What are the ability of the people that we have? Really looking into the strength and the weaknesses. What are the gaps that we can train our people? And we also look into aspiration as well. Aspiration what kind of career development that we have, how can we coach them to be better, to align with their career aspirations, to influence them to have a greater impact and also have a great recognition within Microsoft and to the community as well. And besides that, commitment. Commitment, as what Anne said, results is very important as well. So we strive to really look into how people can excel in their commitments, not just meeting them, really excelling, in what they're doing, so that they create a great impact. So these are the framework that we have instilled within Microsoft, and today we are not just putting in for a high performance coaching for the top talent. We also put it as part of a culture to develop a framework for all Microsoft employees. So this is what we have put in place today. We no longer focus into the bell curve that everybody's know. So we no longer look into end of day your performance review. Who is that ranked within group. We are looking into high impact results and looking into people that create a greater impact within the organizations, create a greater impact in terms of collaborations and building other leaders in the organization and outside of our organization. Innovation is the key within Microsoft. So that brings us to the talent development program, because we are part of the Microsoft culture and my team as well. So we do see a lot of customers really struggle to have a proper framework to build and train people. So a lot of customers came to us and say that I think spending time on workshops, training my employees does not give me a return of investment. When I train them, they leave, right? They get the certification, they move on. So how can I keep them? I have a serious attrition. So this is where we came up with a framework and we built this and we shared with a few customers and we have been successful in proven results. Okay, common responses that we've collected, as what Eugene highlighted, we have given so much training and I don't see in return on investment. Many of them are certified, however, they are not competent, right? I have a lot of MCBE or MCSE, and I have a lot of great people with great certification, but I don't see results. Why should I invest my staff when they leave, after getting the certifications? And since I have them, how can I retain them? And of course, how can I incorporate certain project and initiative as part of our training program? So this is what our customer wanted. And I want to ask Eugene, because
excuse me, Wendy, I think I'm practicing my golf because I'm hoping golf with afterwards.
Okay. So Eugene is our training consultant, right? Coaching is part of his DNA, and golf is his passion.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So why don't you share with us?
Right. Okay. Thank you, Wendy. Now, thanks for the games. I'm going to join you afterwards. Yeah. For the we have a golf game, right? Yes. Yeah. Afterwards. No. Tomorrow morning. Yeah. Before the session. Yeah. Now, as what Wendy has said, we are constant as a trainer and a consultant. I've been exposed to. I've trained many people around Southeast Asia, including Australia and also New Zealand. And constantly we see people from different parts of the world. They constantly challenging as Eugene, like what Wendy said, how can we retain talent? Why should I train them? So it really pushes back to go back to a design board and start thinking, hey, how can we really build talents? So we've been surveying, doing research, working with a lot of our team, and start to find out, hey, we don't need to actually go high and low. Let's think about sport person, yeah? In the world, every year we produce sport person. In Malaysia, we have Lee Wei, we have Nicole, David, and so on and so forth, yeah? And obviously, I bring up golf because I believe here many of them are golfers, right? Can I have a show of hand? Yeah, if you are a show of hand, you get a free golf with SK. That's all? Yeah?
They are HR people, they cannot admit they are golfer.
Alright, okay. Now, let's take golfer for example. In fact, building talent, building a good golfer is the same. Now, I specifically choose golfer because golfer is a very expensive game. Don't you agree? Yeah. Very expensive game. Why on earth people want to spend money in Why play golf? Because we have a certain motivation factors. Some of them want to play golf with Obama. Okay, that's the reason they want to be good in golf. Okay, now motivation factor is very important. We notice something in this. Yeah, and second thing, once you're motivated, regardless of how expensive the game is, you will still spend on making yourself competent in that particular game. Like for example, SK, can you actually play golf without practicing? Without going to a driving range? You born with it?
After practice also cannot play.
After practice, yeah, very good point. After practice also very difficult. Yeah? Now that's why the third part we notice is even after practice, we need to go to the greens with our coach, and there's so many do's and so many don'ts. You can't really practice in the golf. You need to know. So we call this some sort of like internship in a laboratory environment to test out your skill set before you get scolding by your customers. Okay? Now obviously that's very important factors about building talents. As Anne said, coaching and development need to come together. Okay? Coaching. Now think about it. Now this is a photo of Tiger Woods. I believe everybody knows him. Think about it for a second. Why does Tiger Woods need a coach? Isn't he the top player in the world? Why does he need a coach? Any response?
To be the third eye.
Sorry?
To be the third eye.
To be the third eye is very good because one thing, Tiger Woods want to be better than the best. After lunch. Yeah? To be the third eye. You cannot be auditing yourself. You cannot be saying, look at the mirror. Hey, you know what? I swing wrongly. I'm actually at the 43.5 degree, so it's wrong. I can't do that. But with the third eye, you can. The reason Tiger Woods engage coach is because he wants to be constantly to be better. And you need somebody to help you out here. Now, there's no point of learning golf without having the experience to play the real golf. You might be playing it lousy in the first few times, but you learn, you practice, and you learn. You put whatever you have learned in your driving range into the real life. And once you hit it well, wow, you find it very fulfilling. And also, if you get hole-in-one, even better. Yeah, you need to get insurance for that hole-in-one. Now, when we translate this is one of the uniqueness of our program. Microsoft is very about innovations, and they're constantly pushing us to go further than what are the normal capability development programs that we used to have. Hence, we actually incorporated all these critical success factors into our talent development program. They are, first of all, we're going to come in and align your personal motivational factors and your organizational motivational factors. Now, why do we need to align organizational motivating factors? Not just focusing on building the talent, because a lot of people say that, hey, you know what, if I spend money, they'll go away. No, we don't want to do that. We want to create a win-win solution. We want to find out what does the organization want to achieve before to look into what kind of talent that you need. Okay? Subsequently, we have capability development. It's normal, like what we are doing, all kind of technology training or even skill set training, such as project management training. So these are the capability development program. Now, if we don't have the capability development program that we have, we work with our learning partners. Okay? Finally, we have internship, mentorship. Internship is like, when you learn something, you will not be able to play immediately. You need to practice. You need to go into a simulated environment to practice. And mentorship or coaching is important to help a person to constantly improving their skill set. And ultimately, that is the uniqueness of this. Originally, this talent development program is our proactive services where we give consultancy services to our client. Now, instead of handle our customers from end to end, now we are willing to share some part of our IP with you so that you will be able to carry forward. We talk about sustainability. Now, we are at the end of all this training, we are going to create a mini improvement project, ultimately that will go back to achieve your organizational goals. Okay? That's not it. At the end of the day, our consultant, our technical advisor, program is not just we empower you with skill set, with capability. On top of that, we are going to create a platform for you to move forward, to apply your skill, to apply your thinking process, to apply whatever you have learned from the capability development program into a mini project that co-created between Microsoft and your organization. So what do we do? First step, we are going to run through generally as a consultancy. I'm sure there's a lot of HR consultancy here. The first thing we do is to assess where do you want to be as an organization. Where are you now in terms of talents to achieve that kind of outcome? Or how can we get there? That is something that we're going to discuss when we first starting in our engagement. Okay? The next step, we always begin with what are we discussing during this step here? We could be talking to you. For example, can we use gamifications to create business innovation? Can we? Why not? Can we use social media to create marketing solution? Why not? Now the thing is, from the client perspective, they know well enough about the business, how business run. Where Microsoft coming is, we bring in the technical skills and know-how to work with you. Hey, you know what? We can use Yammer to do certain social marketing, plus with gamifications. We can do some great thing. Ultimately, you can get a better response from your customer. Better still, it's free. You know, social marketing on LinkedIn, Facebook, so on and so forth. But you've got to know how to do it. Yeah? Or we will work with you to look into cost reduction. Cost reduction. How can you do cost reduction using cloud services? Okay? Do we need to actually store everything in-house? Well, if we want to go for outsourcing, we might be having a challenge in terms of IP, probably risk in managing your supplier. Why don't we go to a utility-based costing model where you pay as you want to go and use it to help you to rationalize your costs? Or you can even talk, our Microsoft technical specialists can even talk to you, how can we use mobilities to increase your productivity and agilities? Because Microsoft advocate that we don't really need to stay in the office all the time, because we have trackers that track where about we are. Our phone, yeah, we don't need to hand in all these writings, yeah. But there are certain things that track us that, you know, at the end of the day, every month we got to go back because we hand in our claims. So that's one of the reasons, you know. Some of the things, control factors that Microsoft put in, yeah. But having said that, we can work with people from around the world. You'll be surprised, my mom and dad was going, Eugene, you're nuts, you know, why are you talking at 2 o'clock in the morning? Hey, I have no choice because I'm working with people from the US. Yeah? So, alternatively, how can we go to growth and recognition together? Yeah? That's the first step that what we are going to do about it. And the second step is obviously, after you know where you want to go, how do you want to get there? We want to get a team of people to work with you. Think of a team of army. Yeah? Working with Microsoft technical consultant as well as management consultants. Well, we're going to separate you, become two of them. One is what we call the high achiever, we call it the lead subject matter expert, or the team subject matter expert. Why are they different? The lead subject matter expert will have a different kind of skill set other than technical skill set. Cloud computing, Yammer, Link, Skype, Active Directory, all kind of devices, all kind of technology, they will be prepared there. But the thing is, we also want to prepare this lead subject matter expert to be relevant in business knowledge. How can we use social marketing to achieve business growth? Okay, we also want to train them on other than technology skill, we also want to train on management skill. So there are two kinds of capability development program. On one side, you have probably project management, business analyst management, database management, so on and so forth. And on the other side, it's actually your technical skill set. It can go all the way up to expert level, whereby you'll be learning to not just troubleshooting, solving issues, probably learning with one of our creators of the technology to probably upgrade the services, upgrade the technologies. So this is our capability development program. Now, that's not the end. As I said, we are going to put in place an internship. How many of you, after you've gotten your L license, you can drive immediately? here. We are talking about the complexity of IT. More so, we need to have internship. Now, where Microsoft role is, we bring real case scenario, simulate it in your environment, so that you are prepared before you launch it into the deep sea and to fight with the customers or to work with the customers. Okay? Now, the uniqueness of our internship program is at the end of the internship program, that's not the end. That's only the start. Everybody will have an opportunity to justify to the management what kind of management improvement project or technical improvement project you're going to sell to your senior management. That sounds interesting, right? Doesn't mean that whatever. So in other words, we're pushing to the next extreme. You need to carve out an improvement program that really align to achieve your organization goal. For example, how can I reduce cost using IT? How can I grow using business innovative technologies? Now you need to sell it to your organization, similar to that movie, you are fired. You can justify to Tony Fernandez why we need to hire you, so on and so forth. Yeah? Now, obviously, we don't leave you with this. After you have justified the project, we also need to put in our consultant who have done cloud sourcing, cloud computing for so many years. We work with you. Now, you will become the project managers. We will back support you, create certain framework, help you, or at least you don't need to start from scratch. Yeah? We will create certain project charter so that at the end of the day, we can achieve the organizational goal that has been achieved at the early stage. Yeah? It could be agility, IT cost reduction, and also mobility. Okay? So now, Wendy, probably now that I've talked about a lot of the conceptual side, probably can share with us what are the framework, what are the programs that we put together for the customers.
Okay, thank you, Eugene. All right. Okay, so before I start to share this framework with you, I just want to let you know that this framework built upon the IPs that we already have created within Microsoft, and it has been proven for more than 30 years that we have actually delivered for our customer. However, when we did it in the past, it's actually very transactional based. We go in, to say that, hey, your app has changed. Let me assess your change in your environment, and we put in the tools and people and a subject matter expert. We actually look into how have you configured your exchange in your environment today? What kind of risks that you have? What kind of issues that you experience? What kind of process that you're lacking of? And what kind of people that are supporting your exchange today? Whether their skill sets is there or they are not ready, So we basically look into that. And then we provide a service improvement plan to help them to remediate all the risks and issues. And it takes a while for customers to adopt, and some customers don't even have the bandwidth, even the skills of the people is able to do the work. So they will say, oh Microsoft, why don't you come in and help me to fix the issue? So after fixing the issue, the next year we went in again, reassess them, and we have the same problem, right, all over again. So we start talking to the stakeholders to say that, why don't you train your people? Then you have concern of having attritions. So that's where we think of what would be the way for us to help our customers to have a better program. Let's say we put the time frame of 12 months. In 12 months, we provide an outcome to build our people to from basic to advanced, so that they have a very deep knowledge of what they're supposed to do in managing specific technologies. And along the way, we're also looking into how can we aspire your people to be the next thought leader in your organizations. So that's how this program is born. So, like what Eugene mentioned, in this program, we basically do the first thing, the baseline. So we did the baseline on your organizations, really looking into how is IT running operations today. So we're looking into IT operations perspective, we're looking into how your people is aligning with your business goal. We set a baseline, and we also look into your company visions. Where are you going? Are you going to the cloud tomorrow? Is that your strategy moving forward? Is your people ready for cloud? Is your leaders ready for clouds? So going to cloud is not easy because it's totally different, because you do not have an ownership of what you have, like what you do on premise. You got no control on the server because you outsource the entire server to the people, right? Looking into that, whether they are competent to pick up the next role, whether I should give them promotions. Honestly, it depends on the manager to really assess the skill sets, to know where they are today, and whether I depend heavily on the manager to tell me whether this person should be promoted or not. There's no specific tool for me to assess the competency. There's no specific guideline for me to know how good they are and where they should go. And also looking into learning partners. So learning partners means you may have the trainers in your organization to train your team, or you may have engaged external trainers to actually train your team in specific areas. So how can we work together to provide a better framework in terms of training the IT team in terms of aligning with your IT strategy as well as business goal? And of course, assessment is one of the key. We have a lot of assessment coming from operations to technologies. Of course, Microsoft technologies, right? Operation is very generic. IT is the one that we adopt. So we use the IT framework to really assess people in terms of how they run and manage operations, from incident management to problem management, all the way up to strategy as well. And of course, after we have baseline that, we create a roadmap, we create a plan that we documented clearly on what is the personal development plan for each individual, because as one Anne highlighted this morning, every individual is different, right? They are the key talents. Each of them may have their strengths and weaknesses. So what we do is we focus on what is a strength and also focus on the gap. So what we do, like for example, one individual is actually an architect in your organization. This person may have many years of experience, being an architect. However, your organization is going from Lotus Notes to Exchange, for example. So it's a huge migration, and this architect may have zero knowledge about Exchange. However, it doesn't mean that he's no longer able to carry out his role as an architect, right? So what we need to do is to give him a training program and knowledge and coaching on how to manage Exchange. So that is how we're going to develop a plan, and pre-strategically in 12 months. Our program is about 12 to 18 months, and every 3 months we have a pre and post assessment. So we will have a workshop of 3 to 5 days in between, and we run a pre and post assessment on that individual to know how well they adapt and how well they know about the workshop that delivered. At the same time, we also put in a coach. This coach is merely to really look at what is outcome the organization want that individual to achieve. So the coach will go into, for example, it says that, at your level, IT operation head, you need to have a very good backup and recovery process. However, from our assessment, we found that your current backup and recovery process is not good enough. So why don't you come up with something that actually fits into the IT goals? And when we look through the report that this person had provided, and we found that it's not really aligning with the best practices, what we do is either push, give them the pointers on how to improve on that, or if this individual basically, have no idea what to do, then we will share with them how Microsoft do it, what's the best practices, so that you have a very good plan in place. Right, and of course the training, this is basically a flow chart on how the training program running from the basic, intermediate to advanced. If the individual that we assess deemed to fall into the intermediate level, then we can shorten the time frame and progress to the advanced level, and then move on to the internship program. And last but not least is basically looking into the service improvement program. So as what Eugene highlighted, when we start the program, we align with your business needs, we align with your CIOs, we align with your HR to really know where you want to go. And this service program is actually work closely with the individual that you have in your organization to attribute them. End of the day, you will have a very clear roles and knowledge-based management. So this is very powerful because it's used for HR as well in terms of talent management. For example, let's say you have an administrator that manages the email services, and tomorrow this person resigns. So you're going to find another talent. So who are you going to select to replace this person, right? Who are you going to hire? Let's say you couldn't find anyone within the organization, you can actually take this particular data, and go and look for the right people with the right skill sets. Or you can actually pass this to someone that can basically take up the role and maybe take 50% of it, and then the other 50% give it to someone else that actually know the role. So that's where you can actually put in the replacement and distribute the load easily. And of course, continuous improvement plan is very critical because as we run IT, we constantly need to change and updates and also improve our process. So with that, in summary, this is the framework that we use for us to train our talents. We conduct assessment and look into improvement plan, and we provide trainings on that different levels of knowledge that you need. And we also provide you workshop and simulations, like what Eugene said. We customize a lab that suits your environment and allows the individual to actually practice on the lab itself. And also mentorship, and this is very critical because mentorship provides you the insights of what you do not know. Sometimes I do not know what I do not know. You need someone to tell you where is your gap and how to push it forward. And reassess and improve. So what we found is through this community and support, we can really sustain each individual and motivate one individual to move forward. Okay. So these are the three things that we believe in. Partnership, right? Partnership with HR, partnership with the key leaders in organizations to create an impact within the community, to create an outcome for the individual, a career development plan for each individual talent. We embrace innovations within your organization. We wanted people to think out the box to really create what is good, what is the best for your organization, what will create a great impact for your organizations, and also a better ecosystem. When we mention about better ecosystem means, in terms of Microsoft, we really want to train a lot of people to be the top, very, very high skill technical knowledge. And Microsoft itself, we have something called the Microsoft Most Valuable Professional. Yeah, so this is actually a recognition that given to each to individual that contribute back to the society or community. Because if you are very good, you start to write blogs and you start to share the best practices with others, and you get that recognitions. And this is very well recognized in Microsoft. And Microsoft every year it will invite you to our forum and also technical conference as well in Redmond. And I guess that motivates a lot of technical people, techies love to be part of this community. And besides that, within Microsoft itself, within our team, we are not just sharing this talent development program to organizations like yourself. We also start to think about ecosystem. Ecosystem means we look at our new generations. We are sharing it with the college and the university as well. What we wanted to do is to build the next generation of leaders and really a very good workforce in Malaysia. So we will actually share the same framework with the university graduates that are going to graduate in 1 or 2 years' time. They will spend 2 years with us, and what we will do is we will share our field knowledge, best practices with them, so that when they come out to work, they are ready, they are adopting this framework. So if they join your organizations, basically this framework is not new to them. They are ready and they know what is the best practices. They may not be at the expert level, but they will be at the intermediate level at least, so that for you, basically you have fresh talents that are ready to adopt the best practices for work, and ready for the field. Because this is what we are giving back to the community, and I believe this will help us to create a better ecosystem in Malaysia. So, okay, to us, talent development program is about building talents. It's about building the talents, the next high performance team, and also the key talents in our organizations. And through that, we retain them and keep them engaged to innovate and create a better impact in our organizations. And of course, last but not least, we want to use them as our key talent magnet. We want them to attract talents to come into our organization as well, because and that is very important, because I guess a lot of time we spend a lot of time looking for external talent, but with this ecosystem and this framework, we believe we will have a better way of managing our talent, keep people inspired, motivated, and help us to grow at the same time. And that's where the framework we are using internally within Microsoft to create the next leader.
So with that, we are going to close our presentations. Before we close our presentations, why don't we bring game inside this non-gaming context? Yeah. Now the thing is about this we don't have badges, we don't have scorecards, and so forth. We have a rather traditional mystery game. Okay, to play these games. Okay. Now what I want you to do is I want you to spend about the next 30 seconds to think about what you have just learned. And after the 30 seconds finish, I want to grab a pen, do a bit of taking. I believe you already know we have a survey form. Yeah, pull out the survey form from the folders. Yeah. Now flip it to the last page where there's a comments box. Now, in the next 30 seconds, I will think about something that you ask us, or something that you wanted to clarify, or something that you think it can be useful, and I want to use it right away.
And also something that you can take away as well.
Something that key take away. Now, the beauty of this game is like this. I only give 3 of them. After the 30 seconds, and if you manage to grab the mic, you will be the first winner. You get the goodie bags. It's a bit heavy. Anyway, so you spend about 30 seconds thinking about what I just learned. Then, now you don't regret the 30 seconds, okay? You can grab the mic, and then whoever grabs the mic, the first one will give the first 3 away. Okay, thank you. Gentlemen there.
Hi, my name is Johnson from Time. Thank you very much for sharing about this talent retention program. But one of the interesting things about talent retention is that typically we're trying to retain the top performers of our companies, and typically we want to build those people with potential. But one of the things that perhaps you can share from your experience is that unfortunately in organizations we also have non-performers that no matter how much training you give, no matter how much motivation you give to them, they just don't wish to move. So when it comes to an organization that wishes to optimize, that wishes to do more for less, what part of your framework actually addresses this matter? Do we actually try to re-guide, or do we actually have some way to encourage them to move on and seek other opportunities? Thank you.
Okay, I think I can answer it quite easily. As one part of the framework that we have is actually building the role and knowledge-based management, right? When we build a roles and knowledge-based management within the organization, meaning we have a very clear scope of work for each individual within organizations. Meaning, for the low performer, you may want to assign them to do routine work, administrative work that that is clearly there, is important for them to run it. Without that, you can't move on as well. But they will be doing pretty much the job that you want them to do. And of course, another thing is it all depends on the manager. Do you really see this person has potential? Some people has potential, but it's just that it doesn't come out from them. So if you realize that this individual, when you hire them, because when you hire a person, there must be a certain point that you see in that person that you attract them. Why they are not performing within the organization, most probably is because they are not fit into the culture, or they do not have a right infrastructure, ecosystem for them to perform. So coaching is one of them. Having the assessment is giving us the opportunity to really realize where they are and in terms of their potential or their strength, we need to be very clear what is the role and responsibility, and we need to make sure that each individual that perform their daily tasks are performing according to our best practices. Taking an example, backup recovery. If you run IT operations and you need to have, you want to make sure that AD, for example, is a heartbeat of an organization. So everything you authenticate through AD. Without AD, you can't log on. So individual that manage AD needs to know what they need to do, especially patching. If they did not apply a specific patch and your organization being hacked, so what will happen next, right? So this is one of the important tasks. So when we do the role and knowledge-based management, we basically spell out what exactly the person needs to do and how we want to make sure that the person doing it right.
So I think just to add on to it, Johnson, now, this is a talent development program, not a deadwood removal program.
Yeah.
So, in a way, we are not actually here as an HR consultant. Yeah, we don't do this. I believe there are a lot of HR consultants here for you to ask them questions. Now, this talent development program is specifically for an organization who knows that we want to attract talents, we also want to build talents. We have a group of people, high achiever, you notice that they have some potential that can grow with us. But sometimes we need to get some project how to build them. Why not engage Microsoft at one point to actually help them in terms of doing some certain project. Now, the whole thing is like a consultancy service about, at the end of the day, is the outcome. The main thing is about, if you say that, Eugene, at the end of the outcome is, I want to remove this guy, please come in and help me to remove him. I'm so sorry. I don't think I'll be happy to help you to do that, okay? I think you need to get another sort of professional service to help you. But if you say that, Eugene, I have this group of people, and on top of that, I find that they are smart, they are good, they're fantastic, but they're just not achieving the 100 marks, What can I do to do that? Especially, I'm actually, let's say I'm a financial institution, I want to use technology. I want this group of people who are techy to become more business-oriented. How can you help us? That is where we are coming from. And so, does it answer you, Johnson, in a way? Yeah? If I can't really do it, answer totally, probably, we can go down and share a bit on the breakout sessions. Is it okay? Yeah, Tom, you may. Yeah. Thank you very much. Give me a round. Second. Yes. Gentlemen over there. Yeah.
Hello, my name is Stewart here. I came from Ifka. I believe here we have quite a number of big organizations here, alright? So in Malaysia we have SME, that kind of thing. Alright, so I believe that in market or employer, they have probably so many kinds of activity to attract the right talent to the company. Alright, so how would we have, I cannot compare with other big organizations, they have something like big fund or something like that, right, to attract them. Alright, so let's say for example for the SME, so what kind of activity, or some gimmicks we can attract the right talent, is it? That's my question. Okay.
Okay, if you're looking into attracting talents, I guess it also depends on where you're looking at. I'm a manager, so I interview a lot of people. So I just was sharing a personal experience. When we publish a job or a specific role that is vacant, and want to hire people and want to attract talents, and we have people coming from different fields and really apply for the job and role. And when they successfully go through the interview process, one of the key thing is, I guess it's also two-way expectation. One is actually, I think I have met a few individuals saying that they're looking into package as number one, to join the task force. But some very experienced individual comes in, or very junior people that comes in, they are looking into what do you have in terms of career development for me. So one question that posed to me very regularly is, I ask them 5 years down the road, where do you in your organization, or I will stay within the role, where do I go, So that's where they are looking at. And the other thing is also they are looking in terms of learning opportunities. Technical people specifically interviewed one guy 3 days last week, and he asked me, he says that when I join Microsoft, what kind of training will I get? What kind of training do I get? So I said, that's a lot, that you will be overwhelmed with trainings in Microsoft when you join us. So where do you really want to be? Where do you want to go? Do you want to be an architect, or where do you want to be, or you want to become a manager? So it depends on your aspirations and of course your capability and competency, and that's where we believe in career development. We believe in charting a very strategic roadmap and building of talents. So that's the conversation we are looking at, whether the individual, if I say that I like the person, I want to offer him, and this person may come in with a different expectation. So if he comes in with the aspiration to say that, I'm motivated to join Microsoft because you have a good training ground for me and I get to learn a lot to become a subject matter expert, then I will join you. Or someone comes and say that, I want to have package. I even have one very experienced guy, more than 20 years experience, and he basically, the first question comes to us is, can you pay me? Right? So we don't even want to go for interview, he just asks us, this is my package, can you pay me? Right? So that's where, okay, I think he's not looking into career development, he's not looking into anything, he wants a pay. Yeah, so I hope I answered your questions.
Thank you. Last questions? Okay.
Hi, good evening. I'm Shobana from Samsung.
It's okay, it's okay.
Sorry.
Samsung Holdings. As we all know, the Gen Y are the ones which is very difficult to be retained. Now, what are the measures? How are we going to retain the Gen Y?
Gamifications.
What a gently to answer.
Okay. Gen Y, interesting Gen Y. In Microsoft, I have to share real life experience because in Microsoft we attract a lot of Gen Y. We believe we believe in building the next generations. So we have this what we call the Make Hire program. So Make Hire program is basically Microsoft academy for college hire. So in this program, we attract all the Gen Y, the new generation that come up from school, from college and universities. And how we attract them is basically same thing, talent program, right? Especially from Microsoft. So we bring them into a program especially for Mac. So in this Mac program, we are teaching them not just about the role itself, we're teaching them about leadership. We look upon them about leadership. We motivate them about where they will be in the organization and how they can be the next leaders. We focus a lot about values, a lot about personally where we want to see them to be. Example, community service is part of the program. They are aspired to do different roles. So I have seen men that comes from business graduates, marketing graduates, finance graduates, joining my team as a support services team, right? No idea about IT. However, they aspire to learn. They aspire and motivated to learn. And when they join us, we give them plenty of trainings to get them ready for the role. And they can do it. Trust me, I have 3 individuals behind the floor. Cassandra, raise your hand. Yeah. And Krista is outside. Yeah. So these are our energetic Mac program, and it has been successfully been rolled out, implemented in Microsoft. I used to manage one technical account manager reporting to me. He's been very successful in Microsoft for the past 8 years, and he's been changing roles, doing different roles in Microsoft, and every role that he do, he was the top of all. I think the framework of training and our intention of growing them must be there, and it has to be very clear and very strategic on how we put it in. So our HR and also our training partners have done a very good job of building this program within Microsoft.
So now that you get the family side of the story, do you want to get the male side of the presenting here. We have done something similar event, which was like last couple of weeks ago. We have some kind of technical awareness session for our partners and our customers. We are actually forcing them to give public speaking at the age of very young. But how can we do it? So Wendy has been coaching them, spent plenty of time, I would say, coaching more than coaching, also pampering them as well to really help them to really grow. Now, once you see that youngsters who have somebody helping you to grow, I strongly believe at the end of the day, they will not just retain, they will grow with the companies.
So even in this event, it was the slides and everything are done by the other one behind our wings, to deliver this.
And they were until 2 o'clock in the morning to help us. They pretty much project manage the entire thing. We are just here talking. Okay? Yes. Right. Yeah. Sorry. Doesn't matter. We have one more. I think this.
It's okay. I'm going to give my name is Victor from Microsoft.
Yeah.
So in fact, I have spoken to a couple of the HR communities people here today, and I have probably just 2 questions that I hope that can address a lot of people down on this TDP program and its frameworks. Beautiful concept. I think it's very fantastic. We love the concept. So the first question will be, what's next? What is next for us? Now we're here, we hear you. What would us bring us to the next step? First question. Second question, how do we enable the HR community here today to have the conversation back to their IT, CIO, and so on? How do we enable them? Now we have this framework, how we enable all the communities that attended here today to have a conversation with the CIO or the senior director there.
Thank you, Victor. Very good questions. Okay, what's next is basically if you believe and you think this particular framework is very applicable to your organizations and you would like to engage us to talk to you, contact me. In the folder you have our contact, and I have my email up here. Just contact me and we will get our team to really sit down with you, understanding what is your needs. Because this program is not, it's not a mess like a menu that we roll out. It's basically we customize for your needs. We really need to sit down, understanding your business challenges and where specifically you want to grow your talents, and how we can work with you to come up with a program for your organizations. Why I say that is because I believe not all organization has 100% Microsoft product in your organization today. But the very least that you have, I believe, you have AD, right, for authentications, or you have Windows Server sitting in your offices or even desktop, or you are looking into cloud, Office 365, or maybe you're looking into improving your current operations perspective. Let it be Microsoft or non-Microsoft technology, but we just want us to come in to help you to align with your operation strategy. We can do that as well. And the talent bits of it, he has to incorporate with the technologies that we want us to support you, mainly on Microsoft products, because the trainings that we're going to give to your team is very deep dive into the technical or the operation framework, as in IT, change management or patch management or incident management. Yeah.
So we have time for one more questions. Oh yeah, your questions now. One last one.
Can you hear?
Yeah, I
Yes.
can.
Okay, good. My name is Honey. I have 2 questions.
the first one is for educations. Yes, we do work with partners. Because in education program, we basically split into 2 years. The first year is basically setting the fundamentals. We want the individual to have at least a Microsoft Certified Engineer, MCSE certifications. That's where we work closely with partners to deliver the first year of the program. Second year is very much deep dive into Microsoft, how Microsoft sharing a few experience with the college hire. Really share about our ideas on how we do the best practices, and that has to be delivered to Microsoft subject matter expert. Yeah, as part of the program, we have intentionally built this program to get the college hire mentored by our Mac hire, right? So Gen Y with Gen Y, they get that momentum to motivate and inspire each other to go. Of course, there will be seniors, engineers working background, coaching them, ensure that when it reaches the third level, which is advanced level, they have the expert to share what is required from the field. And this, the most of our subject matter expert on specific technology is more than 10 years of experience. Yeah. Okay. Second questions. So second question, if I understand it correctly, you were talking about if this individual, the college, they have gone through this program, how can they find a job?
No, sorry, let me just rephrase that. Outplacement meaning during economic downturn when people are BSS, for instance, retrenchment and all that. And I know that for a fact, this has affected quite a number of organizations a few years ago. And I was looking at your framework, but I did not see the outplacement framework, or yes, intentionally, not being mentioned there. So I just like to find out whether is this one of your best practice to include outplacement, as in taking care of the people who's going to leave the company.
Well, no, actually. Well, if there is a need, then certainly we can create certain form of projects to look into that. At this point of time, I think this part we are not focusing so much on this particular aspect. But if there is a need, I think we can certainly talk and then to build upon it. It's a methodology, and if we can help people who are retrenched, reskill them, and if throughout the capability development program, because of certain things that are out there, that encounter certain technology, they can help them, they can create appropriate software, that would be really good. Yeah, I mean that's some of the area that. Sorry, I didn't get the names. Honey, right? Honey, yeah. So do remember to drop us your name afterwards. One last question. One last question.
Good afternoon. I'm really impressed with both of your presentations, and I wish you had been giving these presentations to the universities I've been working in the last 9 years. It is a program that is really good. And how do the university students get into the program, especially your Mac Hire program? I'm really impressed because while working in SEGI, the SEGI group of universities, we had IBM coming to screen talents from various schools. And the reason IBM came because their head of HR was our former HR director. So that was the connection. But in the other university that I worked in, we never had this. But I feel that if you can go around the universities and really talk to them about talent development, the importance of talent development in building up human capital, quality human capital in the country, I think this would be great for Malaysia. So I hope and pray that your program will be extended to the university circuit over here. I know you've been going, but please go to more. Because I think that a number of them have not been able to. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we are working closely with our, in Microsoft, we have the education director. They're focusing on education space in Malaysia. we are working with her to actually look out, working with MDEC or working with MNU and other universities in Malaysia to really roll out this program because she also feel that it's a very good program for us to share. The reason why we have actually planned on this program for many years. Alex there is the brainchild of this program within my team. So he has the aspiration to really build the next generations, really go out to higher educations, to share on how we are doing it. And it took us some time to really build out the framework, and also because this is actually a project that we wanted to make sure that when we roll out as Microsoft, we want to make sure that we have a success rate. So we have tested with our customers and we've proven that we have successful results and impact as well. So now I think we are ready to roll it out. So we are working closely with Education League and hopefully we can outreach you as well to see how we can outreach more universities.
So thank you very much for the question because of the time. You know what? We don't just live here. Now, as long as you hand in your survey form, you still get your mystery gift. Okay? Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you very much to Wendy as well as Eugene for that colorful presentation. Once again, please give them a hand. But please remain on stage because we have some tokens of appreciation, and that will be given by, of course, the one and only Mr. SK. Thank you very much to Wendy and Eugene once again, and thank you to Mr. SK.